If you're South African and you are planning to get married to a foreign national, this video is for you. And if you're a foreign national and you're also planning to get married to a South African lady or man, this video is also for you. This video is going to tell you the process, the due process to get all the documents. You know, both the certificate of no impediments, everything is explained in this video. All the documents you need from beginning to the end, everything is explained to you. So please sit and watch this video from beginning to the end. You will grab something that will be very useful for you.
If you are a South African citizen living abroad or planning to get married outside of South Africa, one of the most important documents you may be asked for is a certificate of no impediment. This document, also known in South Africa as a letter of no impediment, confirms that you are legally free to marry and that there are no existing marriages or legal barriers under South African law that would prevent your marriage from taking place. Foreign authorities often require this certificate before allowing a marriage to be registered. It may also be requested for visa applications, residency permits based on marriage, or submissions to embassies, consulates, and civil registration offices abroad. In South Africa, the Certificate of No Impediment is issued by the Department of Home Affairs. It is only available to South African citizens and is based on official population records that confirm your marital status, whether you are single, divorced, or widowed. Once issued, the certificate is valid for 6 months from the date of issue. To apply, you will need your South African identity document or passport, your birth certificate, and, where applicable, supporting documents such as a divorce decree or a death certificate of a former spouse. The application is completed using the DHA 1155 form and submitted to Home Affairs. Processing times can be lengthy and may take several months, especially for South Africans living abroad. Distance, documentation requirements, and tight deadlines often make the process challenging, particularly when the certificate is needed urgently. For international use, the Certificate of No Impediment usually requires legalization through an apostille. An apostille verifies the authenticity of the document so that it can be accepted in countries that are members of the Hague Apostille Convention. In South Africa, apostilles are issued through the High Court or the Department of International Relations and Cooperation, commonly known as DIRCO. In many cases, foreign authorities also require a certified translation of the certificate if English is not an accepted language in the destination country. Global Apostille assists South Africans worldwide with the full process, including application submission, fast-tracked processing, apostille legalization, and certified translations into languages such as French, German, Portuguese, and Spanish. Our express service is designed to reduce delays and ensure documents are accepted the first time. If you need assistance with your Certificate of No Impediment, you can contact Global Apostille by emailing info@apostillelegalization.co.za.
If you are a foreign national and you are getting married to a South African, I cannot marry you unless you meet the following requirements. One, you must have a valid passport with an entry stamp into the country. And you must have, where applicable, asylum papers. And secondly, you need to have a letter of non-impediment from your embassy. That is very important. If there are non-English documents amongst your pack, those must be certified translations. You need to bring certified translations of non-English documents. And then you need to ensure that you book an appointment with your nearest Home Affairs. Home Affairs will do the vetting of the documentation. Home Affairs will do the interview. And upon the completion of that process, can I then marry you? Otherwise, without following that process, I cannot be able to help you, and unfortunately I can only help you once the vetting and the proper ratification has been done by Home Affairs. Then can we then proceed to marry you. I hope this helps somebody. I've been getting a number of queries from brothers and sisters who are not South African, who are engaged to South Africans and who want to get married, who are not sure of the process. I hope that explains it. Thank you and God bless you. My name is Vuyani Buwe. I'm a marriage officer and a marriage counselor based in Cape Town.
Are you a South African that is wanting to get married to a foreign national in South Africa? Here are a few things that you need to know. If you're thinking about getting legally married in South Africa, you and your partner would need to approach the Department of Home Affairs. You would need to take a copy of your South African ID, a certified copy of your South African ID, a certified copy of your foreign spouse or partner's passport, and a valid entry or visa or a valid visa to the Department of Home Affairs. This also needs to be accompanied by a letter of non-impediment, a letter of non-marriage for your foreign spouse from their country, stating that they are not married in their country. If they were previously married and are divorced, they would also need to submit a copy of their divorce decree. If any of their documents are not in English, the documents would need to be translated first before you go to the Department of Home Affairs. There are some countries that form part of the Commonwealth that doesn't issue letter of non-impediments or letter of non-marriages. They, however, issue letters stating that they are part of the Commonwealth territories and that they can confirm that your partner is not married. You would then need to take that letter to a police station and have an affidavit also accompany that letter. Remember, this is only for the people who come from like Commonwealth, USA, UK, Australia, and so on. So those countries, they don't do what we call letter of non-impediments. They just issue a notice, and you would need to take that notice, the original notice, you would need to take to the police station, and they will give you an affidavit here in South Africa. When you get to Home Affairs, you would need to go to the marriage officer desk and tell them that you need a referral letter because you would like to get married, and you would need to state that your partner obviously is a foreigner. They will check the documentation, they will check your ID and do a status update to see that you are not married. And if you as a South African was married previously, you would also need to submit a copy of your divorce decree. Once that process is completed, the marriage officer or the officer sitting at that desk will give you a referral letter. You will then go to the immigration division. Immigration will then check to see if all the documentation is there that is required. They will take the documentation in with your contact details, and they will advise you that you will be informed when you need to come in for a marriage interview. They will then proceed to contact the issuing authorities of said country to verify the documentation that you've handed into them. So if your partner is from Netherlands, they will contact the embassy to check to see that yes, this person is actually a citizen of Netherlands and the information that has been given is correct. This process could take up to anything between 3 to 4 weeks. You will then be notified for a date that you and your partner needs to come in for an interview. One more thing. You will have the option of getting married at Home Affairs, inside Home Affairs, but it will be on the date that is available at said Home Affairs. So if your partner's visa is expiring, let's say in 90 days from when you submitted your documentation, they may advise you that, listen, we only have dates available for in 3 months' time. So therefore, if you seek to get a private marriage registered office to that particular office, then you are more than welcome to do so. Please remember that if you are submitting at a Home Affairs in, I'm going to hypothetically use Barrack Street, Cape Town. you need to find a private marriage officer who is registered to that particular office. You need to then approach them and advise them that you are seeking to get married, but you need a referral letter from them. Why they ask for this letter is that the marriage officer will be registered with a registration number, so they will legally be allowed to marry people. So they will then give you the letter stating that they acknowledge who you are and that they will be officiating your marriage, and their registration number, and it will be signed on their letterhead. That letter will also accompany the documentation that you will be handing over to the Department of Home Affairs. Once all the verification has been completed and you are now going in for your interview, please remember that you and your spouse will be interviewed separately. The reason why the Department of Home Affairs Immigration has to do this, it's because they need to officiate, or they need to authenticate that your relationship is not that of a convenience. Okay, so you aren't just getting married because your partner needs papers. If you guys are going to be residing in South Africa, they need to verify that your relationship is actually real, and your interview will be based on your relationship and how long you guys have been together. There's a lot of questions that they do ask. So if you're genuinely in a relationship, there shouldn't be anything that you guys should be afraid of. Go to your interview. The immigration officers that conduct these interviews, they generally know things. Because when they are doing the verification of documentation, they are also doing certain checks. So always please be honest. Once your interview is completed and the immigration officer is satisfied with the interview, they will then either notify the marriage officer who you have assigned to do your marriage, officiate your marriage, or they will proceed to advise the marriage officer inside Home Affairs that the interview has now been completed and that they can go ahead. If you do short certain documents, they will tell you to please bring it along with you when you are going to be doing the marriage, or hand it over to your marriage officer, because those are documents that needs to be submitted. So like for argument's sake, say if you didn't have a copy of your divorce decree and they ask you for the divorce decree, they will tell you that you need to bring that divorce decree with you in order for the marriage officer to register the marriage on the system. There, of course, is another process if you as a couple are deciding to stay in South Africa and your partner now needs to apply for a spousal visa. So only after marriage is completed and only after you have received your marriage certificate can you then go ahead and apply for a spousal visa via the VFS. You would need to do an online application, and there is certain documentation that you would need to gather in order to apply for a spousal or relatives visa if you are remaining in country and you guys decide that you are going to be living in South Africa and your foreign spouse needs to live here. I hope this information helps people, because I've received this question many times, and I'm going to pin this video so that people are aware of what will be required if you are wanting to marry a foreign national in South Africa legally through the Department of Home Affairs.
You've heard everything that I've said. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more updates.